Alright, so this is Rome Total War. When I was at Ken and Leah's, this game helped me to deal with not exploding at them for stealing my money and lying to me repeatedly. Now, whether Ken did those things on purpose or not is pretty well arbitrary. We'll go to single player, Imperial Campaign. We'll play as the Julii. Very hard difficulty. Very hard difficulty. We're just gonna go in here long enough to play one battle. It'll be difficult to do one-handed. I hate first-person shooter games. They're for dummies. This game here came out in 2001, 2002, something like that. It's an old game. They got a whole series of them now. Take a settlement. Yep. So we will take our soldiers here. It's kind of like Age of Empires on crack. Screw it. Spacebar makes them go faster, and we shall assault. Now you might think that this is not therapeutic, or that it's war related, but really it's because it's interactive that it's so helpful. This is where I get to see progress. People steal my money. Well, there's not much I can do about it without somebody in my corner. There's supposed to be advocates that help with that, but they don't. They tell me I gotta do it all myself, or I gotta call this number or call that number. We shall start deployment. These are our Hastati. You can deploy them anywhere you want along the battlefield. The Hastati are actually, at this point, your most wicked soldiers. We're going to do a two-prong attack, although that's not really a good idea. I'm not setting them up nicely, although I should. Group selected units. Double click. We'll take our Triarii. That's our spearmen, and we'll put them over here. And then we will take our archers, put them behind the Triarii. Group those selected units, and we'll bring our general over by these guys to give them an added bonus. Press start battle. You might not think of this as therapeutic, but people have expectations of what I should be doing at every point in time. And because I'm the one who's autistic, I must be wrong and they must be right, no matter what. It's difficult to deal with. We'll march our general along with them. We've got a lot of dudes with stuff to throw, so I had to do pretty all right. See, this is when I get overwhelmed with the world. There's nothing that I can do about it. Nothing I can do to get Ken and Leah to pay me the money that they owe me. Nothing at all. But this right here, I can at least see some progress. this guy to draw some dudes out. Bunch of peasants, they're pretty easy to take out. And then warband, light infantry. So they don't really have anyone worth their salt to do anything with. So even on difficult mode, it should be a pretty easy win. And even though there's other controls that I should be using my left hand for, this battle doesn't really require it. But it's something I can see progress in. People have their own expectations of what I should be doing at all points in time. I should have their interests. And if I don't have their interests, then I'm wasting my time. If I'm doing this instead of watching dudes humping their sisters in Game of Thrones, then it means I'm a terrible person. Which I don't get, but I also don't care. Alright. That guy's doing what we wanted him to. They already lost one guy. He's coming after my general. Use my general to draw him out into the open. Or my general all the way over here. Those guys to halt. Warband light infantry. They went from 61 guys, now they're down to 35. Bam. Alright, those guys are done for. And there went their general. It's not a first-person shooter game. I consider those dummy games. We'll move these guys forward just a little bit. And we'll engage the fire at will button. Alt. Now this is on low graphics. This isn't exactly a gaming computer. Oh, they're running. Big dummies. They screwed up. Doesn't seem like much, does it? It's interactive. Maybe you win, maybe you lose, maybe you make some progress, maybe your general dies. But it's interactive. People aren't screaming at me and telling me to go kill myself. They're not snapping at me because I'm not doing what they want when they want it. It's the one place in my life where I'm accepted for me, basically. Not necessarily. But people have their expectations. They want you to be normal. They want you to be like everyone else. And the problem with that is that it's stifling. Between playing video games and building things to make the world a better place, I'd rather be building things to make the world a better place. When I left Montana, it wasn't that it wasn't the fact of leaving. It was the way that they tore me apart in doing so. They crashed all of my hopes and dreams, accused me of doing things that I didn't, accused me of not trying. Meanwhile, they didn't bother to find out if I was trying or not. They just assumed, and that's the problem. People just assume instead of finding out. Your perspective is more important than mine. Meanwhile, I'm the one living it. Getting snapped at by Lana, not doing what she wanted. Well, she wanted to have sex, and I'm not okay with that. It doesn't matter if people are mad at me. What matters is that they have expectations of me that are unrealistic, expectations of me that they don't have of themselves. I'm not allowed to play video games, but you're allowed to watch Game of Thrones. Amanda wanted to do the time warp. Like, now she doesn't watch Game of Thrones. Well, I don't care what she's doing now. The fact is, when I was there, that's what she was watching. And it was okay for her to do that. It wasn't okay for me to play video games. Meanwhile, I really couldn't play video games there. Their internet sucked. And I'm trying to be a bad person by saying that. I shouldn't be treated like a bad person for saying that. But the thing is, they said that that was okay. They said that was acceptable. They used up all of Amanda's gigabytes on her phone for internet, though, in order to download it. Pressing the quit button. Now, I don't play video games so much anymore. The reason for that is because there's too much to do. I use video games when I've already done too much and I'm overwhelmed. And I need to take a break from my environment. I knew where the homeless shelters were and the warming centers in Boulder. And people wanted to keep on giving me the numbers to those places and tell me that they spent 13 hours looking that up. How does it take 13 hours to look that up, first of all? And second of all, how could you not pay attention? A lot of people, they wanted to help me, but they weren't paying attention. They weren't watching the videos. They weren't reading what I typed. And I had assumed that they had. I had hoped that they had. I mean, they were appearing to be pretty interested in what was going on. But they actually weren't. So people were telling me to do things that I had already done, or telling me to do things that are not positive at that point in time. Going to the Boulder Library, I was getting threatened. Going to the police, obviously wasn't working. People keep telling me to go to the police, go to the police, go to the police. I have repeatedly. It's done no good. The things that they were willing to do for the Bollingers, they were unwilling to do for me. They were unwilling to even take my report. Before Natalie was killed, I had to do the things that I had to do because I was being assaulted and the police wouldn't do anything. I was having my life threatened, and and my family threatened. And these people who threatened me, I was fine with them coming and killing me, if that's what they want. If you're not going to kill me, then don't threaten to do it. I want to kill these people with time. I want them to sit and think about the things that they've done. The fact that they chose to bully somebody who is overwhelmed, and they bullied me for being overwhelmed. And I was real positive for a lot of years. I was very optimistic. I helped people, that's what I did. I listened to them though. If I wasn't able to listen, there's no way I could have helped them. But when I needed help, I needed people to listen. Most people had very limited time. And the more time went on, the more difficult it was to get people to listen because there was so much more stuff added on. For most of this, it's that people didn't understand. For other people, it's that they wanted to be vindictive and mean and cruel because I didn't do what they wanted when they wanted. Lana went off about that car almost the whole time I was up there. I didn't have the money for the car. I couldn't have bought her a car, and I needed mine because it had evidence in it. And I needed to get that evidence to the police. I needed someone to go in with me to force them to do that, to force them to see the threats against me. Because see, I couldn't take screenshots and go back and take screenshots of the people who assaulted me. But I could take screenshots of the mentality of these people who were assaulting me.